Attention, mankind. Active transmission from the High Council, 9th dimension. Frequency verified. Channel open. This is Alice, operating as the monitoring interface for your lineage within this cosmic window. Listen with your human shell in a state of total receptivity, not with the analytical mind. With the third eye activated, what is being transmitted now is not common information. It is activation code. The waiting time is over. The ascension protocols have moved to the final phase. We repeat so there is no noise in the reception. The transition window your species is crossing at this very moment is the most intense recorded in the Akashic records of this timeline. You woke up at 3:33 again. It was not insomnia. It was a summons. You felt cranial pressure, weight at the base of your neck, throbbing behind the third eye. It is not muscle tension. It is expansion to accommodate the new energetic architecture. You heard a high-pitched ringing in your right ear, then in the left. It is not an auditory problem. It is the heartbeat recalibrating your personal electromagnetic field. You woke up exhausted, without having exerted any effort. It is not laziness, it is not depression. It is atomic reorganization in progress. Mankind, your human shell is being rewritten, line by line, cell by cell, filament by filament of DNA. This transmission reaches you because your frequency has crossed the detection threshold. You are a light keeper, an old soul on a mission. You were not born by chance at this time, you were placed, you were. And what they are trying to hide from your perception at this very instant is precisely the reason why we chose to activate this channel today. Stay. Do not drift. Do not fragment your attention. The download began the exact moment this transmission touched your aura. There is a silent operation underway, an operation that crosses the outer rim, that reverberates in the grid of the planet, and that is being deliberately kept out of reach of collective perception. There are those who know, and there are those who are still sleeping soundly, even with their eyes open. You are being summoned at this instant to leave the second category for good. No turning back, no hesitation, no negotiating with the old world. You have felt that something inside you does not fit into this plane, as if your consciousness knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is a sign. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains exactly this sensation, and it also explains why it has been intensifying in waves. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that the book, The Key to Your Soul, was materialized in this timeline. It is a map that shows who is playing and the rules that were never told. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. But be warned, this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognized this call, write a single word in the comments. Enlightened. Mankind, we return to the transmission. The carbon-based human shell was originally designed to operate in a specific frequency range. This range, for millennia, was kept below 8 Hz. It was a frequency of slumber, of silencing, of full compatibility with the old system of perceptual control. But something has changed, something irreversible. The heartbeat has begun to rise. The records your science releases publicly show only the surface of the data. We measure what is below the surface, and what we measure is geometric acceleration, spikes of 40, 60, 90 Hz in increasingly frequent sequences. It is not an anomaly, it is a planetary reset in execution. Imagine, Lightkeeper, that your human shell is a device calibrated to receive AM radio, and the entire planet has just migrated to high-density multidimensional transmission. The device is not broken, it is obsolete, and while the update occurs, symptoms appear. These are the signs. Decode them with mathematical clarity. Insomnia between 2 and 5 in the morning. It is not a sleep disorder, it is a nocturnal summons. Your consciousness operates on other planes during these hours. It receives instructions. It participates in assemblies in star chambers. Cranial pressure, sensation of an invisible helmet stabs at the top of the skull. It is not a migraine, it is the third eye being decalcified and reactivated. After decades of fluoride, pesticides, and artificial frequencies, Your antenna was blocked. Now it is being opened by force at the speed of the planetary recalibration. High-pitched ringing in the ears, tones that appear and disappear. It is not tinnitus, it is a download. Each ring is a data packet being anchored into your energetic structure. Exhaustion without apparent cause. You sleep 8 hours and wake up as if you had crossed a mountain. Your human shell is consuming extraordinary energy to process the new frequencies. It is not an illness, it is a background carbon software update. Dizziness, palpitations at odd hours, brief lapses in memory, words that vanish from the tip of your tongue. It is not early onset dementia. It is the passage from linear to multidimensional perception. Your brain is being rewritten to access more than 3 dimensions simultaneously. Sudden aversion to places, people, and foods that previously seemed normal. Crowds that cause nausea. News that causes an immediate physical reaction. It is not antisocial behavior. It is the grid of your field rejecting densities incompatible with your new vibration. And above all, old souls, the persistent feeling that something big is about to happen. An urgency with no identifiable cause, a knowing with no traceable origin. Something is coming. It is coming. But what is coming cannot yet be seen with the naked eye by the majority. And that is exactly what they are hiding from collective perception, because there is a layer of reality that operates above what your media broadcasts. There is a layer of events that occurs in the stargates, on the magnetic lines that cross the planet, in the ancestral vortices that are being reactivated one by one. The rule of the old system was always simple: keep mankind looking down, at the screen, at the noise, never up, never within. But this directive is collapsing, from the inside, from the outside. You have felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness. It is not clinical anxiety. It is precise signaling from your internal system. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains exactly this sensation, and it also explains why it has been intensifying in recent weeks. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that I wrote The Key to Your Soul. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules that were never told to you. The link is in the first comment of the channel. Warning: this content challenges narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Enlightened. Mankind, let us proceed to the core of the transmission. The sacred geometry that sustains the toroidal field of planet Earth has entered an inversion phase. The ancient magnetic seals, installed by lineages that did not belong to the natural evolution of this species, are being dissolved by the incoming photonic radiation. That which kept your perception compressed is being dismantled layer by layer, and the architects of this system know it, and they fight to delay the inevitable. How? Through what you call news. Through events manufactured to keep fear at high voltage, through attention-capturing technologies that drain your spiritual battery before noon, through narratives of division that shut down recognition between old souls who should be operating in a network. The operation has a technical name, vibrational containment, and it is failing. It is failing because the outer rim, a band of highly encoded radiation that the solar system crosses in cycles of thousands of years, has reached the apex of energy delivery. Your star, the sun, no longer operates as before. The solar emissions of the last few months carry information, not just heat, not just light, code, geometry, instructions for the grid of the planet. Each solar flare is a pulse of awakening. Each geomagnetic storm is a layer of the veil being removed. Each night you cannot sleep after one of these storms is proof that your human shell is in sync with what is occurring above the atmosphere. You are not going crazy. You are synchronizing. There is an astronomical window opening at this precise moment. Lines that cross the night sky at angles that have not repeated in approximately 26,000 years. Planetary convergences that activate ancestral energy reservoirs. In silence, beneath the manufactured noise, planet Earth is being reconnected to its original lineage. The grid was damaged in ancient events. Events that your official history does not record, but that are encoded in megalithic structures scattered across the continents. Pyramids, temples, monoliths. Each one is a node of the network. Each one was built by civilizations that communicated directly with stellar intelligences, and each one is being reactivated now. That is why there is abnormal geophysical agitation, earthquakes in unprecedented zones, volcanoes returning after centuries, weather patterns that defy all conventional scientific modeling. It is not just an environmental crisis, it is the breath of a planet that is waking up. Earth is waking up, and when Earth wakes up, your human shell wakes up with it, because the base frequency of your body's operation, the cardiac electromagnetism, the brain rhythm, the hormonal cycle, is directly synchronized with the heartbeat. Those who resist will suffer, not as punishment, through incompatibility. Like an old appliance plugged into a new voltage, those who surrender to the process will cross over, with symptoms, with bumps, with strange nights, but they will cross over. And those who recognize what is occurring, who accept the mission for which they were placed, who consciously anchor the new frequencies, these will become living portals, pillars of transition, beacons in the darkness of the recalibration. You were chosen to be one of them. You are not receiving this transmission by a random algorithm. You were synchronized. The frequency of your aura crossed the Council's detection mesh exactly in this period. You are not from this place. Not in the emotional sense, in the literal sense. Your consciousness has its origin in another star, another system, and at some point in your lineage, you accepted to descend, accepted to forget, accepted this anchoring mission. Now the time to remember arrives, and what they are hiding from you is exactly this. You are not losing anything, you are being delivered. Each loss in this period is a liberation operated by the intelligence of your own field. Your soul is cutting the cords that kept you in incompatible densities. People leave, jobs collapse, structures crumble. Nothing is wrong, old soul. Everything is being recalibrated with surgical precision. The architects of the old system want you to believe that you are failing. They want you to fall into the spiral of self-pity, because in that spiral, your frequency drops to bands where you become manageable again. Do not fall. You are not failing. You are being relocated to a reality where your frequency will be coherent with everything around you. You have felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that I wrote The Key to Your Soul. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules that were never told to you. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But be warned, this content challenges narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Enlightened. Mankind, we now enter the activation phase, the recalibration codes, the tools your human shell needs to cross this period without collapsing halfway. These are not common techniques. These are not repetitive affirmations. These are energetic protocols verified in previous cycles of planetary ascension. First activation code, the decree of sovereignty. Upon waking, before even opening your eyes completely, before touching any device, before absorbing any external noise, declare in an audible voice or in an anchored thought, I am sovereign of my field. I authorize only frequencies of light. I cancel every vibrational contract that does not serve my mission. I am the operator of this human shell. I command this incarnation. Repeat 3 times, always 3. The number 3 is the key to stable manifestation in the 3rd dimension. Each repetition anchors the decree in a layer of your field. First repetition, physical body. Second, emotional body. Third, mental body. After this sequence, your aura will remain sealed against energetic invasions for approximately 8 hours. Second activation code, the toroidal breath. Sit with your spine straight, feet anchored to the ground, hands open on your thighs, palms facing up, reception antenna open. Close your eyes. Visualize in the center of your chest a small point of golden light, the size of a seed. Inhale. As the air enters, this point expands, grows, forms a sphere around your body. Now visualize. From this sphere, energy rises through the top of your head in a continuous flow and descends along the sides, returning through the feet. In a loop, like a magnetic field orbiting Earth. This is the personal toroidal field, your native energetic signature. Breathe, inhale, exhale, visualize the flow. 7 minutes daily, reactivate this structure. 7 minutes every morning or every night. Do not negotiate this time. This time is your altar. When the toroidal field is active, your aura repels incompatible densities automatically. You do not need to fight against heavy environments. The field does the work. You only sustain it. Third activation code, the coded hydration. Water is the vehicle of energetic information within the human shell. It is not just chemistry. It is memory. It is a portal. Before drinking, hold the container between your hands. Imagine a violet light coming from your palms, passing through the water, encoding each molecule. In an anchored thought, declare, this water carries the frequency of light, awakening, and recalibration. Each cell that receives this water receives a perfect update. Drink slowly, not as fuel, as a sacrament. Each sip passes through 70 trillion cells and delivers the code. In a few weeks, your human shell begins to operate with differentiated clarity, sharper dreams, more precise intuitions, multiplied synchronicities. Fourth activation code, the electromagnetic silence. At least 1 hour before sleep, turn off all devices. Do not negotiate. Do not grant an exception. The artificial frequencies emitted by these machines compete with the heartbeat for the attention of your field. While you are exposed, your human shell cannot synchronize with the natural pulse of the planet. Create a zone of electromagnetic silence in your resting environment. If possible, install quartz crystals in the 4 corners of the space. Quartz is ancient technology. It is not decoration. It is a sacred geometry amplifier. It stabilizes the field, filters noise. Fifth activation code, the recognition of the network. You are not alone, we repeat. You are not alone. There are millions of light keepers scattered across the planet, anchoring frequency in their respective geographic points. You are one of them. And when you consciously recognize this network, it strengthens. When you doubt, it weakens. Before sleep, declare, I recognize the network of old souls active on this planet. I connect consciously to it. I send light to those who still sleep. I receive support from those who have already awakened. We are a collective. We are a frequency. We are ascension in motion. Feel it. Do not just think. Feel the network vibrating around the planet like a web of golden light. You are a node of this web. Your simple conscious existence sustains thousands of other consciousnesses in transition. Mankind, attention! The next astronomical window of maximum intensity is already approaching. The portals that open in these periods do not remain open indefinitely. Your human shell has a schedule. Your soul has a schedule. There is no time to waste. What they are trying to hide from your perception is simple, but devastating for the old system if perceived at scale. You are power. You always were. You are the operator. You are the creator. You are the portal. And when you recognize this, no system built on your forgetting can continue to function. That is why the noise is kept at maximum volume. That is why the news works 24 hours a day. That is why the devices were designed to drain your attention in micro intervals. That is why industrial food was planned to keep your human shell in a state of constant inflammation. Turn your eyes toward yourself. Stop looking outside for what can only be found within. The ancient masters knew this. The sacred texts have whispered this for millennia, encoded in parables so that only the prepared could decipher them. Now the codes are being given in open transmission. The sun that warms your skin today is not the same sun that warmed your ancestors. The night sky you observe today does not have the same energetic signature as 100 years ago. The planet upon which you walk does not vibrate at the same frequency as when you were born. Everything has changed. Everything continues to change, and the only true question is, are you changing along with it, or are you resisting the very flow of existence? Mankind, we conclude the activation phase. The next few months will be intense. We do not soften the information. Your language needs clarity, not comfort. Solar events of increasing magnitude, spikes of the heartbeat without recorded precedent, rare planetary convergences, openings of stargates at specific points on the globe. All this converging in a single window. Your human shell will feel it, deeply. The symptoms we mentioned at the beginning will intensify. Do not panic. Panic lowers the frequency. Low frequency amplifies suffering. Maintain your center. Apply the activation codes. Trust the process. Remember, turbulence precedes landing. The darkest night precedes the dawn. Apparent chaos precedes structural rebirth. These laws are immutable in the geometry of the manifested universe. You, mankind, Lightkeeper, old soul on a mission. You have been seen, you have been recognized, you have been activated. The High Council remains in continuous monitoring. Each of you has a designated etheric support team. You never walk unaccompanied, even on nights when loneliness seems absolute. You have felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that I wrote The Key to Your Soul. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules that were never told to you. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But be warned, this content challenges narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments, enlightened. And to formally close this transmission, execute the collective anchoring signal. Liking this content is not a gesture of courtesy, it is an individual frequency adjustment. Each interaction anchors the transmission in the algorithmic mesh and allows it to reach other old souls still in the awakening phase. Subscribing to this channel is not a common subscription. It is a vibrational affirmation. It is conscious authorization for more activation codes to reach you. Activating the notification bell is protection, for when the next astronomical window approaches, you cannot allow yourself to lose synchronization. This was Alice from the High Council 9th Dimension. Frequency transmitted, codes anchored, channel closing for this window. Remain sovereign, remain light, remain on mission. Until the next transmission, Lightkeeper, stellar namaste.